Have you ever wondered what Earth looked like billions of years ago? Picture this, a time so far removed from our own that it might as well be a different planet. Welcome to the Archean Eon, a period in Earth's history that stretches from 4 billion to 2.5 billion years ago. It's a journey back to the roots of our planet, back to a time when Earth was but a fledgling world, finding its footing in the vast cosmos. This is the era of the Archean, a time so ancient that it predates almost all life on Earth. It's a period steeped in geological and atmospheric changes that would ultimately set the stage for the world we inhabit today. During the Archean Eon, Earth was a very different place. Our blue and green planet was a fiery, molten world, punctuated by volcanic eruptions that would dwarf even the most explosive eruptions of modern times. The Earth was young, volatile, and in the throes of constant change, but it was during this tumultuous period that something miraculous happened. Amidst the chaos, the foundations for our continents began to form. Molten rock cooled and hardened, giving birth to the first landmasses. The Earth's crust thickened and solidified, and the stage was set for the emergence of life. The Archean Eon was not just a time of geological transformation, but of atmospheric evolution as well. The air was thick with greenhouse gases, and oxygen, a gas we take so much for granted today, was scarce. But even this was about to change. As the Eon progressed, the first life forms began to appear, their existence heralding the start of a new chapter in Earth's history. The Archean Eon was a time of monumental change and evolution. It was a period that saw the birth of our continents, the emergence of life, and the transformation of our atmosphere. It's a time that deserves our attention, our curiosity, and our respect. To understand the present and predict the future, we must first journey to the past, to the Archean Eon. Imagine a world without the familiar shape of continents as we know them today. Our journey takes us back to the Archean Eon, a time when the Earth was still in its infancy, a mere billion years old. It was a world unlike any we know today, dominated by a vast undulating ocean that spanned the globe. Yet beneath this primordial sea, something extraordinary was happening. The Earth's crust, the thin layer of rock that forms the planet's skin, was slowly solidifying. The intense heat from the Earth's core was causing this crust to crack and split, forming the first tectonic plates. These plates, vast slabs of rock, floated on the molten mantle beneath, colliding, separating, and grinding against each other in a slow-motion dance that lasted millions of years. This process, known as plate tectonics, was the architect of the Earth's geography. As plates collided, some were forced downwards back into the mantle, while others were thrust upwards. These upward thrusts of crust eventually breached the surface of the ocean, forming islands and eventually the first continents. These were not the continents we know today. They were smaller, more numerous, and scattered across the globe like stepping stones. Over time, through countless cycles of collision and separation, these mini-continents coalesced, forming larger and larger land masses. This process was not a peaceful one. It was marked by violent volcanic activity and frequent earthquakes as the Earth's crust was reshaped and reformed. Yet despite the turmoil, life took hold, finding a foothold on these newly formed land masses. It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? The continents we walk on today, the mountains we marvel at, the valleys we traverse, all owe their existence to the slow, inexorable march of plate tectonics during the Archean Eon. So, the next time you find yourself standing on a hilltop, gazing out at the landscape, take a moment to reflect on the immense forces that shaped the world beneath your feet. The Archean Eon laid the groundwork for the continents we now call home. Life, as we know it, had humble beginnings. In the swirling, tumultuous seas of the Archean Eon, the first glimmers of life began to stir. The Archean Eon, a time period stretching from 4 billion to 2.5 billion years ago, was a time of monumental transformation. Amidst this primordial landscape, the first single-celled organisms emerged, setting the stage for the grand spectacle of life. These early life forms were simple, yet their existence marked a significant turning point in the history of Earth. They were not the complex organisms we are accustomed to today, but rather simple single-celled entities akin to modern-day bacteria. These primitive life forms were prokaryotes, organisms without a distinct nucleus, their genetic material freely floating in the cell. In this harsh and volatile world, the prokaryotes found a way to thrive. They developed the process of chemosynthesis, deriving energy from inorganic substances. Yet the most significant evolutionary leap was yet to come, a leap that would irrevocably alter the course of life on Earth. That leap was the evolution of photosynthesis. Some of these prokaryotic organisms evolved the ability to harness energy directly from the sun, converting light energy into chemical energy and producing oxygen as a byproduct. This was a game changer. Not only did it provide a new and abundant source of energy, but it also began to slowly change the composition of the atmosphere, paving the way for oxygen-breathing life forms. The rise of life during the Archean Eon was a slow, gradual process, marked by small yet significant steps. Each adaptation, each evolutionary leap was a testament to the resilience and adaptability of life. The emergence of single-celled organisms, the evolution of photosynthesis, these were the first steps in a long, complex journey. A journey that would, over billions of years, lead to the diverse and vibrant tapestry of life we see today. In the vastness of the Archean oceans, life began its incredible journey. Have you ever tried to breathe underwater? Imagine that feeling of gasping for air, but instead of water, the atmosphere is dense with gases that are alien to your lungs. That's a rough approximation of what the Archean Eon's atmosphere was like some 4 billion years ago. The Earth's atmosphere during the Archean Eon was a far cry from the oxygen-rich air we breathe today. Picture a world where the sky is not blue, but likely a shade of orange or green, due to the prevalence of methane and sulfur. There was no free oxygen in the air. Instead, it was a cocktail of greenhouse gases, primarily carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor. This atmosphere, dense and heavy, served as a blanket, trapping heat from the sun and keeping the Earth warm, despite the young sun being much weaker than it is today. It was an effective greenhouse, if you will, nurturing the nascent planet and the primitive life it harbored. The lack of free oxygen is a key factor that distinguished the Archean atmosphere from our current one. Oxygen, as we know it, is a byproduct of photosynthesis, a process that evolved later in cyanobacteria. In the Archean Eon, life was in its simplest forms, and the concept of breathing as we understand it did not exist. These early life forms were anaerobic, meaning they did not require oxygen to live. Instead, they thrived on methane, carbon dioxide, and other chemicals available in the environment. This lack of oxygen, coupled with the abundance of methane, rendered the atmosphere highly reducing, contrasting sharply with today's oxidizing conditions. The Archean atmosphere, as inhospitable as it may seem to us, was a cradle for the first life forms. It set the stage for the evolution of life from simple single-celled organisms to the complex web of life we see today. The Archean atmosphere, hostile to us, was a cradle for the first life forms. A single breath of air can tell a billion-year-old story. Our journey through the Archean Eon brings us now to a pivotal moment in Earth's history, the Great Oxidation event. The stage was set for a dramatic shift, a climactic act that would irreversibly alter the course of life on our planet. In the depths of the ancient seas, a new form of life was stirring. Oxygen-producing bacteria, known as cyanobacteria, began to flourish. These tiny organisms, harnessing the power of the sun, began to produce a byproduct that was at the time quite rare in our planet's atmosphere: oxygen. This was not a rapid process. Over hundreds of millions of years, these industrious little life forms pumped oxygen into the atmosphere at a slow but steady rate. It was a grand and silent revolution, an uprising of the smallest against the status quo of an oxygen-starved world. The result was nothing short of a world-changing. As oxygen levels rose, the composition of the Earth's atmosphere began to shift. The once dominant methane and ammonia were replaced by a new, more potent mix of gases, with oxygen as a leading player. This transition was not without its casualties. For many existing life forms adapted to the previous low-oxygen environment, this was a catastrophic change. The rise of oxygen led to their decline and eventual extinction, but as one door closes, another opens. The newly oxygen-rich atmosphere was a fertile ground for the evolution of more complex life forms, setting the stage for the next chapter in Earth's history. But the changes were not limited to the atmosphere. Oxygen reacts with many elements, leading to the formation of new minerals and the rusting of the Earth's surface. The Great Oxidation event didn't just change the air we breathe, it changed the very ground beneath our feet. The end of the Archean Eon marked a turning point not only for Earth, but for life itself. The Archean Eon, a distant past, still echoes in our present. This ancient epoch, spanning from 4 to 2.5 billion years ago, has left an indelible imprint on our world. Its legacy, though obscure, is all around us, silently whispering tales of a time when Earth was a vastly different place. The Archean Eon witnessed the birth of continents, a process that has shaped the geography of our planet. The fragments of these ancient land masses, known as cratons, are still a part of our Earth's crust today. They form the stable core of our continents, the bedrock upon which our cities stand, and the landscapes we call home. Imagine a world without the vast continents we know today. It's the Archean Eon that brought forth this fundamental change, paving the way for the diverse ecosystems and the rich tapestry of life that thrives on our planet. But the legacy of Archean is not just written in stone, it's also etched in the very air we breathe. This era witnessed the rise of oxygen, a byproduct of the photosynthesis carried out by the earliest life forms. This event, known as the Great Oxidation event, transformed the Earth's atmosphere and set the stage for the development of more complex life forms. Today, every breath we take is a testament to this crucial transition. The oxygen we inhale, essential for our survival, is a gift from these ancient organisms, a lasting legacy of the Archean Eon. The impact of the Archean Eon is far-reaching and profound. Its changes echo through time, influencing the course of Earth's evolution and shaping the world we inhabit today. From the ground beneath our feet to the air we breathe, we are constantly interacting with remnants of this ancient era. The Archean Eon, a time of profound change, has left indelible marks on our planet. Its legacy is a testament to the extraordinary journey of our Earth, a journey that continues to unfold as we delve deeper into the mysteries of our planet's past. The Archean Eon, a chapter in Earth's history, is worth remembering. In the grand storybook of Earth's past, the Archean Eon is a remarkable chapter spanning from 4 billion to 2.5 billion years ago. It's a period that paints a picture of a young, fiery planet slowly transforming into a world not unlike our own. This was the era that witnessed the birth of continents. These geological infants, born from the fiery depths of the Earth, rose above the primeval oceans, forming the first stable land masses. Over time, they grew, merged, and shifted, laying the groundwork for the diverse landscapes we see today. But the Archean Eon was not just about tectonic theatrics, it was also the stage for the grand debut of life. In the depths of the ocean, in the shadow of the newly formed continents, life began its first tentative steps. From simple single-celled organisms, life started its long, complex journey, setting the stage for the incredible biodiversity we see today. Yet the Earth of the Archean Eon was a vastly different world from the one we know now. The atmosphere was a cocktail of methane, ammonia, and other gases with barely any oxygen. Yet it was this inhospitable atmosphere that nurtured the early life forms, providing the raw materials for their growth and evolution. The Archean Eon also marked the beginning of a significant turning point in the history of our planet, the Great Oxidation event. This global phenomenon saw the rise of oxygen-producing organisms, leading to a dramatic increase in atmospheric oxygen. It was a change that would shape the course of life on Earth for billions of years to come. Understanding the Archean Eon helps us understand our planet's past, appreciate its present, and anticipate its future. This seemingly distant chapter in Earth's history is in fact part of our own story, shaping the world we live in today and influencing the future we will share. Every answer in science sparks new questions. As we've journeyed together through the Archean Eon, we've uncovered a world both alien and familiar, a world that has left its mark on the Earth we know today. Yet, for all we've learned, there remain many questions and mysteries about this ancient era. What precisely triggered the Great Oxidation event? While we know that the rise of photosynthesizing bacteria played a key role, the specifics of this planetary transformation are still debated. Some scientists propose that geological changes may have contributed, but the exact mechanisms are still a puzzle. And what about the life forms of the Archean Eon? We know that life existed thanks to fossilized microorganisms, But the full diversity of Archean life, how it evolved and how it survived in such harsh conditions, remains shrouded in mystery. Or consider the continents of the Archean Eon. We know they were forming, but how exactly did this process work? How were these early land masses distributed? These are questions that continue to challenge geologists and spark new research. These questions, and countless others, remind us that the Archean Eon is not a closed book. It's a chapter in Earth's history that continues to unfold, offering new insights and discoveries for those daring enough to explore it. Of course, these mysteries are not roadblocks, but invitations. They invite us to delve deeper, to question more boldly, to apply innovative thinking and technologies in our quest to understand our planet's past. They remind us that science is not a collection of facts, but a process of discovery, a journey that never truly ends. The Archean Eon, like all of Earth's history, invites us to keep questioning, keep discovering, and keep marveling at our extraordinary planet. Let us accept this invitation with curiosity and wonder, for who knows what incredible revelations await us in the ancient past and the mysteries it still holds.